and she really likes the 7 furlong distance as well.
Well, she's been killer at that distance, and we're going to watch her work here. You know, with Evita Argentina, what I'm going to see in this work, I'm going to get ahead of myself here so the viewers can watch it. I think she breaks off. I think she goes at a nice clip early in the work, but I feel late in the work, Evita Argentina falls apart a little bit and slows down the work, and that to me is a definite negative.
Yeah, I mean, she's probably going backwards here. She's going a little quicker the first part and finishing up slowly the last part. That could be a problem. That could be rider error, and I don't know whether we have any, get reaction from John Sadler later on, but this is not how you probably want to see one work coming into a big race like this, is going a little quick early and not finishing up late.
Well, there's what she quickened right there, Simon. She's quickening on the turn there. And going very, very nicely. And this is why we have a show like this, The Works, because the time will be very, very good here, but it's what went into the time. And as a trainer, you always want that latter part of the work to be the best part of the work. I just don't think you get that here.
And one thing about her, I mean, this is very different from what we see from her in the afternoon. She's a little quicker, a little more aggressive. Usually she's a filly that is totally out of the picture early on in her races, and she finishes up better the last part than she does the first part. So what we're seeing here in the work is something polar opposite to what she does in the afternoon on most occasions.
And she is being asked. You can see that rider with his left hand is definitely calling upon her.
Evita Argentina this morning here at Santa Anita, 6 furlongs, 1:11.2 as she prepares for the Sinton and Jet Filly and Mare Sprint. All I can say is wow. She wowed us with her U.S. debut. Since then, not so much, but she's also taken on the license in Yada, going longer distances. She might be back at her better distance. What do you get of the impression she makes here in just a gallop this morning?
I mean, she looks fine galloping, but does she have the quality to take down Ventura? All I can say is no.
All I can say is it absolutely was a wow in her U.S. debut. For those of you who haven't seen this, watch this remarkable athleticism from horse and rider. This is the U.S. debut back in April at Hollywood Park. Keep an eye on the 5, pink cap there, Joe Talamo aboard. All I can say is wow, looking for room, and then it almost turns out to be disaster.
Oh, she didn't get through and almost fell. All I can say is wow, did not get through. She still has a chance, though. Lullaby Time is the leader. All I can say is wow, trying to recover and get an amazing victory, and I think she's going to do it. All I can say is wow!
Nice call by Vic Stauffer as well. Keep something else in mind. This is 2 weeks before Joe Talamo's going to the Kentucky Derby to hopefully ride I Want Revenge.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look at it again. Let's take a look. This is a precarious position for a rider. He's got a ton of horse and nowhere to go, Tom, and he's very, very patient. Joe doing the right thing. He's waiting.
Well, he gets a spot right there,
yeah.
Or so he thinks. But that's what horse racing is about. Jockeys have to make split-second decisions, and if you don't think they earn their keep, you watch that race and you know why they get paid what they get paid.
And the interesting thing here is that he persevered with her. At that point, most riders in this situation would save her for another day. He obviously thought that she was fine underneath him and came on to win. I thought it was scripted. With a name like that, they fixed this race.
I haven't seen anything like that since the Fleet Alex's Pimlico race.
Exactly.
In the Preakness.
Yeah, that's right. Scrappy T crossing over on him. You guys kept bringing up Ventura when we were talking about the Filly and Mare Sprint, and why not? She seems poised to truly defend her title, and this was the work that you were just so impressed with.
You like a song, you keep playing that CD, you put it on the repeat button. That's what we're doing here with this work, don't you think, Tom? This is one of the best we've seen in the first 2 days of the workshop.
Well, when you talk about repeat, she's got a chance to repeat in the Breeders' Cup Sprint because she won it last year, and she seems to be coming into the race great. Look at those ears. That's a sign of a good work. They're forward. They're waiting for a command. They don't go back and get pinned because they do that when they're asked to run their best in a distance in a work. And she never does that in this work. Her hands are still getting over the ground great. Great time. Boy, oh boy. I wish she was in my barn.
5 furlongs, 59-4. That was yesterday. Ventura, she is certainly ready to defend her title in the Filly and Mare Sprint. By the way, I got Jay-Z in the CD player, Empire State of Mind.
Yeah, me too.
Just in case you're wondering.
I like that.
How off the hook was that before the World Series
Seriously.
the other night? That was our works calendar for today. Tomorrow, the Filly and Mare Turf and the Turf. And when we return on this Halloween Breeders' Cup Works 2009, it's the backstretch buzz. A lot of people flying through LAX to get here for the Breeders' Cup World Championships. Just don't have any water bottles on you as you go through TSA screening. You can feel the moon and the Earth's pull on a night like tonight. And you can feel the pull of the Breeders' Cup World Championships. It is the best 2 days to wager upon, and you can do it through TVG. If you're not an account holder, what are you waiting for? It's a great time. Sign up, bet 50, get 50. Find out more at TVG.com or pick up the phone and call 1-888-PLAY-TVG. Our camera crew does a great job getting up so early in the morning to bring you these workouts and then staying with us until after the sun has gone down to bring you that beautiful shot of the moon. It looks like you can see where NASA launched the rocket in there to test for
It's right
water.
on the bottom side.
It looks
bottom right-hand corner.
right about there.
Yeah.
A little bit of splash. Okay, this is going to be quick, guys. We're going to
Yep.
look at a lot of horses galloping in various divisions. We start with Ruth Therian.
Yeah, big filly, a well-made filly for Christophe Clement. She is what she is. She's a 5-year-old mare. She always shows up. She's in the exacta more often than not, and she's carrying plenty of condition here, shipped well.
Or if you think Ruth Therian's big, let's take a look at Dynaforce. This is a huge mare. You can see why she likes that added distance. And, of course, she'll be running the filly mare turf at 1.25 miles.
Yeah, she's a big, strong thing. Looks like a standardbred trotting out there. And then we go to the TVG mile on the turf. Just enough humor. Came in for Kira McLaughlin this morning. Just a gallop. Looked okay here. Nothing fancy. Typical McLaughlin early in the morning. So, like what we see here, we'll wait for this one to maybe work later on in the week.
Well, if you look talking about the TVG mile, you got to include Courageous Cat. Look how good she looks on the track. I mean, that is a perfectly disciplined horse that's striding out nicely and taking a good solid hold.
Yeah, she looks very, very good there, in good condition. Back to the
Shiny, good flesh.
Yeah, back to the filly and mare turf. Let's go back to that condition and look at Maram coming in for Chad Brown. You remember this filly. She won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf last year. Not a big individual. I wouldn't say she's grown a lot from 2 to 3.
Well, Miriam's one thing, but let's talk about the younger horses, and I think we should look at Negligee, who's running in the Juvenile Fillies. That's her right there. Let me tell you something about Negligee. She won the Alcibiades as easy as you can win. I don't care if it was by a half a length. If she comes into this race the right way, she is going to be my key. How about that?
I have to say, Tom, you told me to go back and take a look at that race. I have. You're absolutely right. It was easier than I remembered. I was there for the Alcibiades. I thought, well, She Be Wild ran a very good second. Actually, nobody was in Negligee's same breathing air that day. She was awesome. So if she maintains her form and moves forward, Negligee, look out in the Juvenile Fillies. I want to go back to you guys talking about Fatal Bullet earlier and revisit this subject and kind of bring Frank into the mix as well. And Fatal Bullet in the sprint. Certainly synthetic is definitely his surface. This really emphasizes the point. On the synthetic, look at this. 9 wins and earnings near $1 million. If you want to look at his buyer speed figure, how about 109? That's what it takes to win the Breeders' Cup Sprint. When you put this horse on the dirt, no wins, best buyer 71, earning 6,600. That's the world we live in. Some horses who handle synthetics, others who do not over the conventional dirt. And maybe we found the reason why Fatal Bullet is better over the synthetic.
Exactly, and it might just be a happen chance there. We've talked about how little crooked he was in the right front, but not all horses are perfect. This is his work from a year ago when he ran a disappointing effort in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. And remember, he was getting out earlier in the work that we showed you, Tom. What do you make it here? Is he getting out as much, less, or the same?
I don't think he's getting out at all in this work. We're going back to Fatal Bullet last year. I mean, he was second in the Breeders' Cup Sprint last year.
Excuse me,
and,
yeah.
I mean, it took a Herculean effort by Midnight Loot for Fatal Bullet to get beat. That same race, as he ran last year, will beat this group this year.
Yeah, he wears blinkers when he runs. We had one of our colleagues talk to Reed Baker today. Said he doesn't work this horse in blinkers because he doesn't need to. In fact, the blinkers are very small. It's more of an eye goggle to protect him. And he said he really doesn't need a race in them. He just doesn't want to take them off because the horse has been doing so well with them.
They called Triple Crown winner Assault the club-footed Comet for the way he was turned in, and some horses just overcome those odd conformation defects to go on and be great horses. Fatal Bullet is certainly one of them. There's a buzzing in the air. It's
How
time
exciting.
for Backstretch Buzz. This is the time where we get information you won't get anywhere else. These guys are using their context to give us the latest news surrounding the Breeders' Cup World Championships. Tom Amos, what's your buzz?
Well, I talked to Tim Ice today, the trainer of Summer Bird, and Tim told me specifically as far as riding instructions and where Summer Bird's going to be placed, it's all going to be in Kent DeZormo's hands. Summer Bird has changed his tactics recently since the Belmont. He lays much closer to the pace, but there's a lot of speed in the Classic coming up with the likes of Girolamo, Quality Road, Regal Ransom. So Tim has said, look, it's all going to be in Kent's hands, just as it always has been. So it's really Kent that has made more of a tactical horse out of Summer Bird.